We'll talk about Chola now. When I personally saw that film at first, I got so disturbed by that film because all of your films have this in Oyu Desati Kali also, where he show his protest, where he talks for himself, where he tells a poem. When Geeta get harassed, where she tells she just slap him off, where this thing opposing that party or showing my strength. But in Chola, when I watched it for the first time, I was undisturbed, and also I certainly getting this thought that why she's suffering a lot. She might have escaped or something. But after that, when I watched this film for the second time, then I got the whole plot of that she's been in the Stockholm syndrome, and also when I read this case, Surya Nelly, where you have adopted that plot to this Chola, I have this question in my mind after watching the Chola for third time also. Seen that where she comes out of the bathroom and stands in front of the mirror, where Joe who will molest her. So is this some things was unspoken, which was not in dialogue or thing? Which I what I my question is it right whether if she comes and stand like that that guy can molest or harass, rape her? Is it okay?
It is like a marital custom. It is like a marital ritual. In our daily life, you see a lot of things like this. Parents arrange somebody, and they ask the girls to marry him, and they are not understanding whether this female like this guy, or there is an even an element of love is there. Actually, what is the point which makes a marriage, which makes an arranged marriage in our society? What is the point? Is it love? I'm just asking, is it love?
No.
It is not love. Actually, it is power, it is money, it is it is the situation of the circumstances of the man, or the his job, or all these things. And only few people, only in cities, or maybe girls with a lot of education, or with some kind of courage, have this power to choose somebody. And in our villages, still we have these kids, these girls. They are actually victims of this thing. No, it is purely sexual. It is not at all. There is no element of love at all. It is like, parents choose somebody when they feel that their daughter is mature enough, and they start searching people, searching men for them, and they arrange a marriage. And these kids, actually, after taking a bath, dressing well, and they go in front of them. It's what is that?
I don't know. It's kind of suicide, I guess.
Yeah, that the same kind of thing, you see in Chola. But when you see something in a film, you feel that it should not be done. It is politically incorrect. But these things, when you see in your society, you don't question. Or I'm not saying you. I'm
I do
asking about the general public.
understand.
When you confront arranged marriage, you ask who arranged, and what is the mindset of this girl, and was there any love, element of love in that? Love is an essential element for being together, right? Then what is the element there? There is no element. Actually, it is security, it is power, it is money, and the family background, right? There is no element of love. So this is this is actually a real incident, reality happening around us, but we don't want that reality to be shown in films. So that is okay. I have also I have faced a lot of criticism about Chola, and it is not only this scene, about the total incident after the rape. The girl follows this guy. That these things also, people feel that I should not have shown these kind of things. These are all politically incorrect, and I don't feel that it is politically incorrect. What is politically incorrect?
No, I didn't.
Whatever is normalized in a society, you see these things are normal, and you don't raise any finger against it, and you are happy with it, or you go for these kind of marriages, and you are actually in our Indian judiciary also asked rape victims to marry the rapist,
Yeah.
so that the case can be compromised.
Yeah.
And that is the country we are living in,
True.
and there is no problem for these people and no criticism for these things. And when you see these things in film, suddenly you will become agitated, and you will you feel that it is anti-women and all. I
True.
don't feel that. I think that these are all hypocrisy.
Because when I saw the film, I was placing myself to Janaki. That's how I watched the film. Because when she got harassed or some way, when she was left
Hmm.
with his her boyfriend goes off, where I felt myself in there. Then after that, reading all those case report about Surya Nelly, and also the interview on the rape victim, she was talking about her own experiences and issues where she faced. The thing is, you're taking a real thing as a core point in your film, and also the things you have stated here is a layered thing, but the general audience who's facing the image is totally they're out of somewhere. What they take is like this is politically wrong, this should not be thing there. Here as a filmmaker, you wanted to explain these two people, but some people are not ready to listen or not ready to go further to understand what it is. So while you're making chola, whether you had these things on your mind, because this is way more for the general audience or for the this so-called stereotypical Indian things and all. So I'm just asking whether you had this while writing, while filming all these things.
Absolutely, absolutely. I know that this will happen. Even I understand the society very well. People are happy if this thing happen in a mainstream cinema. If this is what happening in a mainstream cinema, nobody would have made any problem. And I have seen a lot of cinema, a lot of Malayalam cinema after Chola, the same thing, marital rape, cinema with marital rape, and people have no problem with that, no issue with that. Only when you are showing something very serious, very raw, through an artistic cinema, then suddenly people start pretending that they don't understand it. And I feel that it is total pretension. And I am okay with the general public pretending that they don't understand it. It is okay. But my problem is with the critics. My problem is with the film viewers who really cherish art cinema, and they can understand the nuances of that. And there is a possibility of them to watch it again and understand it. And there is a duty of these people to elaborate these things for the public. It is not the duty of myself, or not the duty of a director, to explain the situation or explain the cinema to the general public. It is the duty of the critics. It is the duty of the film lovers who really understand the kind of cinema. But unfortunately, in India, a filmmaker is bound. A filmmaker is bound to explain whatever he has shown, whatever he has depicted in the cinema. And I don't give any shit to that. I am okay with it. Whatever kind of criticism they raise, it's okay. It's fine. The cinema is there. They can watch it again. And some people connect these things to the personal behavior of the filmmakers also. This is also not right. This is wrong, because I feel that a filmmaker is a human being. Filmmaker can make a lot of things. He can be really a layman to a highly professional author. But in between, there is a humanity. There is a human being. Human error can happen everywhere, anywhere. But a film is totally different. Film is totally different, and film live a long time than the filmmaker. So you can't compare the filmmaker with the film and negate it for a reason or some reason. due to the filmmaker, how big he is or how small he is. And these things are because of the underdeveloped mindset of our culture. It is our problem. It is not the problem of film. It is our problem as a society. And unless and until we overcome this problem, we won't be able to get something from these kind of films. It is not, I'm not talking about Chola only. There are a lot of films we underestimated, and we fail to, take the goodness from films. Those are produced with a heavy intention to reveal the reality. For example, I think Adur's films. Adur films, a lot of people, praise those films, but I don't think that those films also have made any impact in the society. If those films made any impact in the society, our society, that Kerala society, would have gone very farther from where we are now. We would have progressed a lot, because it is exposing the reality of our culture. Elipatayam, for example. Elipatayam shows very vividly what we are, and how crude we are, and the need of ourselves to go further. But that doesn't happen. That doesn't happen because of our prejudice. The critics are insufficient to explain what is the film, and they fail to make it as a conversation in the general public. So it is not a new thing. I'm okay with whatever criticism it is.
So all of your films have this open ending. Most of your films, which talks about oppression on peoples, on certain and about the caste and about the ignorance and oppression and everything. But everything has your films. When I saw all the five films, uh, all the plot of the film and the story was just capturized whatever things that happened. In another hand, some of the films which give the oppressed people will raise their voice, but in your films you're just capturizing what is actually happening, but you're just leaving open ending film. Have you ever thought that this is not how why you want to choose that kind of things, because you want to give the open ending to the audience?
I thought now I think a little differently. I think I should start, making something more. I thought until now I thought, an open-ended film has more possibility than making it a very closed. And now, but I feel that now I need to give some hope, because I feel that we are all living in a darker era.
Yeah.
So every year we are facing this darkness, and a pathetic, hopeless situation we are facing. So I think you can make a hard film or you can make a dark film, but at least you should give some kind of hope at the end. That is what I feel lately. Now I feel like that, because our society is facing a darker era, and it is not easy to overcome this. We need something, to give hope to the people. So I have a change in that perspective now.
All of your films which talk about the human harassment, even in Oral Pokam, and also in all your films, have this, you have spoken about women harassment, the men patriarchy things in everything. Why you want to give more importance? What do you think that some of the films who, in commercial films also right now, they're degrading women, and they are encouraging domestic violence and everything, and people are getting used to it again and again. After that, when they see Chola, they have lot of irony things, a lot of questions on it. What is this people have in mind was not. I'm not actually sure about what these people have in mind. So why? What is the importance of practicing these people to the reality? Because they are seeing a fake things which is not really happening. And they're not showing the real domestic violence which is happening on women, or the real harassment which is happening on the women. They are pretending that nothing is happening. Even, yeah, right now in BJP ruling things, on the issues happening on women is more higher. So what is the importance of talking about the human harassment and molestation in film?
Uh, I think our society is made up of women and men. So, and there are power hierarchy, and men has grabbed more power than women, and thousands and thousands of years of ruling over the women has made men something impeccable. Like you can't make any difference by raising some voice or raising a small protest. You need to transform the society, then only it will change. Because nobody can say that I am a man and I am totally different from all the mankind. It is not like that. If I'm a man, I have possessed all the elements of manhood. So that happens because you are part of the society, and you are coming from you are eating the food of this culture. So it is our duty to understand things. I honestly believe that I am making film and I learn things. I understand things more clearly while I make films, and I change a lot. I'm not the one 7 years before I made my first film. I changed a lot. Now also I'm changing. It's a process, and I think it is the duty, or and I told it is not like I'm making a film for all this audience. I'm making a film primarily for myself, and I'm happy if it satisfies me. So these things are all they have two aspects. One, it is very private, very personal kind of thing. So it makes me happy. It makes me a bit more pure, or a bit more civilized, a bit more different. That is the personal happiness. And on the other hand, there is the social aspect also. A film can be used as a social tool to understand what is there. And if the society is not using the film as a social tool, it is not the fault of a filmmaker of the film or the film. It is the fault of the society, and it is a huge loss to the society. So and I have nothing to say about this. I'm happy with whatever I am doing and whatever I am getting from that. So as a filmmaker, I feel that I have a space to make my film, and I have my own living. It is very different, very personal space. Yeah, that's what I have to say this about this.
Why are you fascinated about Ramayana? Because when Ramayana is being when a right wing people see Ramayana is in a different perspective, but in a leftist people seeing Ramayana and taking that plot into a contemporary. Right now, we are doing that plots and all. So why are you fascinated about Ramayana? It was the oldest thing, which but in contemporary world also it is applying. We wanted to experiment with that. Why?
No, I'm not fascinated about Ramayanam only. I'm fascinated about Ramayanam, Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, Bible, Quran, whatever it is. But from my childhood onwards, I have this connection with Ramayana because my father used to read Ramayana every day, and I also started reading it from my childhood onwards. So I have this story, and it is a story. It's a beautiful story, painful story, and it connects a lot of people from thousands and thousands of years. So there is a beauty in that aspect. That if you see it as a story connecting people, all the epics, not only Ramayanam, you take a Bible, it also is connecting people. No, a book connects people all around the world. That is something amazing. Ramayana is like that, also like that. It connects people, and it creates its own morality. It creates its own laws. It creates its own customs. So it is so powerful, and so we need to understand it, from where our customs are coming, from where our mindsets are built upon. So if you think about this, you will go to this the basic story, the story which create all these kind of, you know, that may be good, that may be bad, but you need to understand from where it is coming, and whether it is relevant in our time. So these things, it is not as silly, it is not something very silly. I think Ramayanam has created our government now. So it is totally political. So you can't negate its existence. It is there. It is so powerful, and I think it will be there. It will be there unless we create something more powerful, or a story which is more powerful, which can supersede this Ramayanam, the story of the our ancient stories. We can't survive. We can't forget it. That stories, the ancient stories, will continue to rule us. So that's why I feel that I should see all these things. And every artist are trying to make a different story, a powerful story, which can make a difference. And I'm also trying for that, but I'm not yet succeeded in that.
So how your post production works go? Because some people you have done work right now. You give any between gap for the edit, or else you just go on with the edit.
From the beginning, only I have some idea of editing. I should actually, in that sense, edit sense. I should, and there is not much to do after shooting, but there will be a lot of corrections. I will sit upon it, and maybe 1 month of watching, rewatching, and it is actually finding faults.
Okay.
uh, and unless and until you feel that you can't cure those faults, you will try. That is the post production process for me.
Okay. Okay. So you don't give a break for this after a shoot. I need to give a break, and then I'll go and watch the rushes. Those process won't you going to go. Just finish the film and you come and watch the rushes, and then you start fixing the film how you want it to be.
No, actually, I have a lot of friends, and a lot of film enthusiasts. I make them watch it, and I get their comments. Then I understand their perspective also. It is not easy to understand the faults of a film you have already made,
Okay.
because you are so totally involved in it. So when you are into it, you can't find faults with it. So usually I feel I get a lot of feedbacks, and after that my eyes will be open, and I work on that.
When I see Indian cinema through thing, where the best cinema comes from Kerala and also from Bengali movies, where this whole with a complete political issue where they have strong political views and a strong opinion on it. Where Kerala and Bengal was the first two places where this complete film comes. uh, is that because of they have this practicing the communism, the ruling part for several years ruling party is being communist? Is that the real thing why do you think this kind of ruling party and practicing communism will reflect on artworks and artists?
I don't know. I don't think so, because now you can't say that best cinema is coming from Kerala and Bengal.
Okay.
I don't think that Bengal is producing enough kind of good cinema nowadays. Maybe Marathi, or yeah, of course Kerala. From Kerala, some good films are coming every year, because Kerala has a tendency to the commercial cinema has a tendency to grasp the essentials of art cinema and use it in the commercial stuff. So that's why Kerala survives in that area. A lot of films, like a lot of mainstream films, adopt the kind of making style, or the content from the artistic cinema, and use it, and they succeed, and that's why it survived. But I don't feel that in Bengal lately. Bengal had a culture, but now I don't know what has happened to it. And Kerala also has gone through that period of at least 10 to 20 years. We had no good cinema, and lately a lot of filmmakers came again. A lot of independent filmmakers came again, and they started making films. And yeah, I don't think that it has anything to do with the communism of or the government. I don't feel that. Uh, Basically, basic thing is that you have to be open-eyed, and you have to see things clear, and you have to be impartial. That is what I feel about filmmaking. And yeah, I don't see a connection with the political party and filmmaking.
Okay. So, in one interview, I've read, I guess, read that you're going to do a uh, commercial film, but in your way. Is it true?
Uh, this I say every time that I am making a commercial cinema. And maybe I can say this is also my commercial cinema, because it has everything. It is a commercial artist. Yeah, it is a commercial kind of subject. It is a thriller. So I don't think that a lot of commercial audience will relate it. So it is all gimmicks.
So, okay. Um, I want to know about film festival, how this film festival works. As an independent filmmaker, survival is the biggest problem. Money and everything is the biggest problem. And going pitching your films into a film festival circus, all these will be a nightmare. When I making a film as an independent filmmaker, the cost of the entry was very huge for me than my film. So how you manage all these things at starting? How you were managed? Now Chola has been premiered in Venice. How this journey in film festivals and all?
Um, I think after Sexy Durga, a lot of film festivals actually are friendly towards my films. So when I intimate them that I have made another film, they usually watch it. They usually express their interest in watching it. So it happens. I don't have to spend much money for applying. And I think it's a journey. It is the product of the long journey I had gone through. After from Oralpakam onwards, I have tried many festivals and people associated to festivals, and shown them the films, and they liked it. Some people keep continuously asking me whether you have a new film. So it's a process. When you enter into a field, there is a field, there is an invisible field of art films. So once you are recognized, once people recognize that you have made some films, good films, and you have a potential.
Whether International Film Festival of Kerala is they are supporting Hindi films. They do support Hindi films,
Hmm.
or else they are concentrating.
I have I always protest against IFFK because of their attitude towards independent films, and still I have not changed my mind. I
Okay.
don't feel that it has become a system. It has become a vicious system. Every system has its own rules. They have their own agendas, and IFFK also has their own agenda. And I don't think that they can do any good for independent cinema unless they break the system and come again. Yeah, that's what I feel.